Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Pi Revolution. So right now we're going to start a new tutorial on PyMongo. So PyMongo is a Python wrapper for MongoDB. So before we go into the technical details, let's go over what MongoDB is. So MongoDB is a document-oriented database, and one of the special features about a MongoDB database is that it is NoSQL. So what I mean by NoSQL is that it doesn't have a fixed structure or form. So for SQL databases, you have a fixed form, such as you have a name section, an address section, a phone number section, and you have to maintain that format throughout the document of the database. However, for NoSQL, you can actually have a database and you have a collection. So a collection is kind of like a folder. I'll go into that a bit later. So your first page could, your first document could be something like a person's information, such as name, address, and everything. Your second document doesn't even have to be anything, any text even. It can be a picture of our dog even. And your next document can be a video. So NoSQL means it has no structure. You can literally put in whatever document you want in almost any format. And it uses a JSON-like documentation. So so MongoDB is JavaScript based, and it has dynamic schemas. So schemas are basically the structure of the database, and it's called a BSON format. We'll go into that later. And let's go a bit into details. So MongoDB is a very popular NoSQL database, and our PyMongo is our Python wrapper. Before going further into the tutorial, I would need you to install MongoDB, and you have to install PyMongo. So if you have Anaconda, you should have PyMongo. If you don't, just pip install PyMongo and that should do the trick. Now, before we go further, I need you to understand some basic terminologies. So the first terminology I need you to learn is client. So client is, well, okay. So you have a client and you have a server. And so the client and the server basically can talk to each other, and client represents your computer or whatever user interface that's accessing the information from the database, and server is from the database. So your laptop will have a client or a MongoDB client, and you say, hey, I want whatever information there is on document one, as in the name and everything. So the client goes through the client server, the client session, and it goes through all the security system, and then it reaches the server because the security system understands that you're a trustworthy user. Then the server will tell the client, okay, let me look through the database to see where that document is. It'll find the document, and the server will send it back to the client, and then you can actually see the document, as in the information. So for example, let's think of Netflix. So Netflix has a client. You say you want to watch Lord of the Rings. You make the request, it goes through the entire Netflix server, and then that it searches through the database, and through the database the server finds that, oh, we have a Lord of the Rings video, and it sends it back to you, so you can actually watch it from your couch having popcorn and whatever you like to eat. After clients, the next basic terminologies I need to cover are database, collections, and documents. So database is your Mongo database. So basically every information you have, and MongoDB can host multiple databases that can be accessed by multiple users. It can be on your computer, it can be on a server, it can be on the cloud. Um, a database has something called a document. So think of your database as a file cabinet, and inside you have multiple folders. So each of those folders is a collection. So you have your collection, and let's use an example. suppose your database is called cartoons. I like to watch cartoons, and you have different collections. So let's think of one collection, Pokemon. Okay, so inside your collection or your folder, you have documents or pieces of paper, and each of those have a Pokemon information. So you go into your database, cartoon database, you look through all the different cartoons there are, Pokemon, Digimon, anime, whatever you want, and then you pick out the Pokemon collections, and inside you find different documents, as in a document for each Pokemon, like Bulbasaur, Venusaur, Charmander. I'm sorry if it sounds technical to non-Pokemon viewers, but I assure you this will make a lot more sense as we go further into the tutorial. Next tutorial will cover some basic Python codes of PyMongo. So till then, please install all the prereqs, subscribe to my tutorial, of course, as always, and have a nice day.